Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. How's it going? I'm JTB, and we're going to be doing a speed run of...
Shantae, Half-Genie Hero.
That was good. I like that.
Perfect.
All right, so let's go ahead and kick this off. We'll start this in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so like I said, we're doing a speed run of Shantae, Half-Genie Hero. This is the newest Shantae series. We're doing the any % glitchless run, so it's a little bit different if you watched the HDQ run earlier this year. We're not going to be doing any glitches. Got a couple cool dudes on my couch. If you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm the Psycho Ripper.
I'm Tariko.
Dude, you're the Psycho Ripper?
Yes.
I'm your biggest fan.
Dude, no way.
No.
You know, come to think of it, I like your content too. It's pretty great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So what's going on here?
So, I don't know. I don't really know much about the lore of this game. I just skip all the text boxes like this and just go through really fast. So I won't go into the lore of this game too much since we're skipping pretty much all the story. But essentially what this run is, it's very movement-based. Got a lot of platforming we're going to do, a lot of side-scrolling stages like this. This is just like an intro dream sequence that really nothing to do except just hold right.
Yeah, as you can see, Shantae's not quite ready for adventure. She's still in her PJs, so...
Yeah, she needs to shaping up a little
You
bit.
can have adventures in your PJs.
You're not wrong.
So if you never played a Shantae game before, it follows like a Metroidvania style. It's a little bit different now in that rather than having just a huge world to explore, you have different stages that are a little bit smaller and not as like overwhelming to a casual player. Before we can go to each of these stages in the game, we have to do like a short fetch quest in order to get the map to fly to each one. So usually a lot of our time spent in this first area, which is Scuttletown, it's just collecting items, going back and forth from shop to shop. Fortunately, it's not that long at all. I'm just going to go to the right here, grab some of these gems right now.
Yeah, an important part about this run is collecting gems because you'll need certain amounts of money throughout the run to get certain items.
Yeah, and there's at least the first amount of gems I need for the first items I buy. It's really strict when you go through the first stage, so it's better just, if you're playing it safe, just go ahead and grab some extra ones that are a little bit out of the way. So now that we got the first map, we're going to go ahead and go to the first stage of the game. Also, best music in the game, too. Just going to go ahead and...
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Can we just stay
get ready
quiet for this one?
Yeah, I could literally just not talk this whole time. Shout outs to Christina V.
Let's go.
So this is Main Street. This is actually probably one of the most basic levels in that you're literally just going to run from left to right. There's not really any other areas to explore. We have these cannonballs that are jumping in. Normally you're supposed to destroy them in order to run past them, but if you jump over them at a certain frame, it'll bounce you in the way that you want to go, so that way we don't have to spend time just whipping them. So like I said, this game's a lot about movement, but we do have a lot of enemies we want to kill to pick up gems, so to kind of mitigate, you know, the time it takes to whip, we're going to do a lot of jumps right after whipping to minimize just the lag that she just sits there. Or we're just going to get hit, that's cool too.
This track is sick.
So like that, if I miss the jump right there, I get pushed back the way that I'm coming from. It's not too big of a time loss, but it just sucks having that happen. Missed that completely. So there's different sizes of gems or jars that I'm destroying. The largest ones have the most amount of gems, so I'm obviously going for them any chance I get. Some of the smaller ones I'll just generally ignore, but if they're like stacked up next to each other, then I'll go for them as well. Like I said, I'd rather be ahead of gems for this first area than behind. I'm actually at 94 gems right now, which is really good. Usually my cutoff is around 75, 80, so now I know for sure I'll be fine after this stage. So this stage, you can see it's a little bit less linear. There's a lot of areas that we're kind of not going to, or we're just ignoring right now. One big part about this game is going back to these areas we've gone to previously with different abilities to just pick up different items that we need to progress through the run. So usually the first time we go through each of these stages, it's just going to be a start to finish sort of thing. I'm really good on gems right now. Alright, and that's the end, at least the first stages. And at the end of every stage, we have a boss we're gonna fight. And this stage, I don't know, I don't really know what this is. It says it's Tinker Slug, but it's kind of a interesting design. Anyways, to kill this boss, what we have to do, it's almost like an auto-scroller, in that we can't do damage to it except at certain points. So we want to keep hitting this bell, which triggers this barrel to show up, which we use to hit into the boss, and then we kill him at that point. There's a little bit of downtime between, you know, when the next barrel can come up. So during that time, we're just dodging the enemy attacks. I mean, it's a pretty simple boss at the start of the game. The boss's difficulty does ramp up later on. But yeah, and also every boss is just outlined with tons and tons of dynamite. So we're not actually doing any damage to the boss, we're just trying to ignite the dynamite for them to blow up.
Just trying to create enough friction with your hair to, you know, set off the fuse.
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind it, but we won't go into it too much. So that's the first world, Main Street. And at the end of each world, we get transported to this other realm, which allows us to get another, a new dance. So by the way, Shantae is a genie, half genie actually, and she can transform into different animals that all have different abilities. In this case, we get the monkey, which is the most used transportation or transformation in the game, just because he's faster, or I guess it's she. She's faster, she could jump off walls, and really speeds up the run a lot too. And then after each stage, we're sent back to the to Main Street or Scuttletown in order to start up the new fetch quest for the next area. So when I talked about needing enough gems to buy items, what I just bought are called the Pike Ball and the Super Pike Ball. As you can see there, it's these 3 revolving pikes that follow Shantae. And given that Shantae's whipping speed is kind of slow, we want to pick up as much like damage we can on the side to kill some of these bosses a little bit faster. So we need 130 gems to get through there, and it's very possible to not have enough gems at that point, which there are a few ways to get around that, but generally you just want to have enough gems at the start. So we've unlocked Mermaid Falls, which is the second area of the game, but we don't want to go there just yet. We actually want to revisit Main Street now that we have the monkey transportation. And this first area is just going to be, we're just going to run straight through it. You can notice it's a little bit different as well. After you go through a stage for the first time, there are a little bit of tweaks that you'll see. Just plot purposes, probably. I mean, you can't attack the town twice, but I don't know, you do you, Shantae. But now that we have the monkey, we can dodge a lot of things a lot easier. We don't have to worry about the platforming as much because we can generally just skip a lot of the platforms. And we're just jumping through all the enemies. Oh man, I got hit by the starfish. So getting hit by the starfish isn't that great because it severely reduces your movement and your jumping ability. It's not too big a deal though, you just go ahead and just mash on the D-pad and it'll disappear. Alright, and now we're going to the second part of Main Street, which is the one we actually want to be in because there's some items that we weren't able to get previously. So you see, monkey movement is a lot more difficult than just normal Shantae movement. A lot of the run revolves around, you know, getting from platform to platform with the monkey. And to add on top of that, we're going to pick up our first upgrade, which is the Monkey Bullet, which you'll see right now. So now it allows you to dash off, any kind of wall that you're currently clinging onto. So the Monkey Bullet is the fastest way to get around the game. So a lot of the movement in the game is just about where can I Monkey Bullet to save time, and can I do it in a fast enough manner that I'm not going to lose any time, or you get hit by an enemy or anything like that. Right now, you can see this counter at the top of the screen. I'm picking up a item with that. Normally, you would talk to an NPC beforehand that says, hey, you need to go to this area and kill a bunch of enemies to pick up this thing for me. But you can just go ahead and skip talking to her and just get the item it shows. So I just got our first heart upgrade. You see in the top left now we have 3 hearts. Normally you do this run with 3 hearts total. And you just go ahead and skip that one, but given that I want to actually get through this run without dying, I'll just pick up any extra ones on the way. So that item we just picked up too, we just traded it for another key item. A lot of these items really are just silly gags to kind of advance the story. So you're only seeing us pick up health permit, caramel, and not understanding anything about it. But there is some logic behind why we get those items and why we trade them away. So this is the second stage in the game. This is Mermaid Falls. You see this area is going to be a lot more open and a lot more vertical as well. It's much more different than Main Street. There's generally a set path that you want to take through this when you're going casually, but we're going to go ahead and just ignore that completely and just go right to the end. Oops. And if you can't tell, each of these areas is divided up into multiple stages with different environments and stuff.
It's an interesting scenario we got going on here.
Yeah, you got the half-naked women and the fish coming up from the water and just attaching themselves. Shantae has some pretty strange stuff going on, and that's not even the weirdest thing that we're gonna see through this run too.
I will say though, this music for this level is really, really good.
Yeah, if there's one thing WayForward is great at, is just the music in their games. Pirate's Curse music is really good too, and they really continued it into this game too. So you can see Monkey is kind of really broken for speed runs. We're just pretty much ignoring the whole challenging part of the level and just climbing up the walls and dashing off the sides.
Here comes the fun part.
Yeah, here comes the fun part. This is probably the hardest part of the game. I guess I just kind of set the controller down, just relax a bit. Everyone likes a good auto-scroller. I really don't know how Shantae isn't just catching on fire. I mean,
Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
what's friction?
The pants are magic.
She's
mean,
a
it's
half
true.
genie. She can just wish the pain away.
Lucky her.
I also
Shantae's-
noticed that he's collecting oranges. Those are going to just be useful for health later on.
Yeah, or I'm just going to miss them like
That
that.
and they're delicious and full of vitamin C.
Also, Shantae trying to do her best Kool-Aid Man impression. Not really doing it for me, though. So thankfully, this game does not have a lot of auto-scrollers. This is just one. That we'll actually see another one like this at the very end of the game. But most of the game is just your side-scrolling platformer. There's not really much to this stage. Obviously, I'm trying to pick up the oranges because I want to have consumables to heal off of just in case things go wrong. And there's all the gems too that I'm picking up for further item purchases that we're going to be doing. Oh, I missed that guy. Alright, now we just got one more thing of barrels that we have to dodge.
Uh-oh.
Dude, nice. I think I should be okay for the boss. Alright, got through that. So now comes everyone's
It's a great boss.
it's a great boss.
Yeah. Fish waifu.
Name's Giga Mermaid, also known as Giga Waifu. Basically what JTB is going to be doing here is trying to take out all these locks as quickly as he can. He's going to do a certain pattern, and hopefully these attacks she does isn't going to cause too many problems.
Yeah, this isn't too bad. She'll hit me like a couple times.
Alright, so that's the easy part. This part's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot of things that can really go badly or out
It's
of his
just-
control. This is the part where RNG can kind of kick in.
Yeah, this part is highly RNG, like what attacks she'll do.
That's good.
probably the best one that can happen. I'll explain a little bit more after that.
Nice.
So that was yeah. Good job. Good job, JTB. You did
Good
it.
job on that.
That was that's Giga Mermaid. The second phase, she could just do a whole bunch of different random attacks that we can't even hit her during it. So for that to happen, to have the platforms and everything show up, lets us kill her in 2 cycle. That's probably the fastest you can do it.
All clear.
Dude, something's happening over there.
It's almost like they're
exciting.
playing a really hyped set of Super Smash Bros.
I don't know. I see Charizard winning over there. That's pretty hype, actually.
Oh, that is Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo Wii U.
Not to be confused with Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS.
True. They are completely
True.
different. So now that we finished another stage, we get another transformation, this one being the crab. Crab essentially just lets us walk underwater. There's not really much to it.
You feeling it now?
Feeling it now. You notice there's a lot of areas that had water that we already passed over, so we would go back to some of those later on to see what's under there. Some good stuff in there.
The cool thing with the crab is you have this ability to just fall really fast when you're in the water too, so that makes the movement a little more interesting. Otherwise it's just pretty slow and floaty.
So we just traded caramel for birdseed. Why that works?
I think the best part about that exchange is that the salted caramel, according to the person who gave it to you, is supposed to be a dog treat or something. You just gave a child a dog treat.
And funny thing too is the child, what's it called? The birdseed that we got from her, that's how she gets paid. So she pretty much just gave us all her money in order to, oh, where am I going? I shouldn't go over there yet. She pretty much just gave us all her money in order to get the, just to get a caramel.
Not just a caramel, it's a salted caramel.
Salted caramel. I mean, yeah, that actually does make all the difference. So now I'm going to go all the way to the far right of the screen. Like I said, we're skipping a lot of the plot. So it's kind of hard to tell when you go, through this stage so many times, like, oh, which part do I need to go to? Because there's no like visual cues. It's just the same thing over and over and over. So it's just a lot of remembering, oh, I need to go to this part next. So now we got the next map. Oh, and actually I bought some items. I didn't even talk about that. I bought 2 items. I bought a fireball spell, which is a standard just projectile that we shoot in front of us. I also bought a thing called a warp dance. So you notice that there are multiple stages for this game. With the warp dance, we're allowed to actually skip stages that we've already done. So that way, pretty much we just don't have to go through them again. It saves a lot of time. But we have to beat them at least once first in order to use it. Here's your typical desert stage. And we get to see the good usage of the crab as well. So I'm going to hope for an item there. No, I'm not going to get it. Sometimes that bird can drop an item called a monster egg for me, which isn't too important right now, but it saves me time later on trying to pick it up. And there's that fastball thing Psycho Ripper was talking about. Instead of having to wait, you can just press down and fall down. So now we're on this little sandstorm area where we can't move until the sandstorm actually closes out or disappears. So I ultimately want to get through this on like 4 cycles or so, which I think we're actually doing well for that right now. Oh man, I got hit there. That's not good. Nice, got it.
That was sketchy.
Oh,
Oh,
am I gonna get it still? think I'm good? Yes. That was very close.
Yeah, the movement through that section can be real tricky.
So it is like really tight getting through there. Once you reach a certain point, then the sand stops. I was probably maybe just like half a second away from the sand blowing me back. And it'll throw you like really far away too, so it can mess up you quite a while. Now we have this vertical chase sequence by this nice fellow right here, in which we need to be able to climb the tower faster than he's going. Fortunately, he's not really an issue at all. We're never gonna see him catch up to us, so it's just racing against ourselves right now. And you can just see how useful the monkey is too. Yeah, granted we wouldn't be able to get up here without the monkey, but the monkey's movement is just so much faster than Shantae's, and it makes this run a lot more fun to do. It's probably one of my favorite games to speedrun just because the movement is, so solid. Also trying not to take damage, but I'm gonna play that safe. I really don't want to die here. Alright, pretty good. And then the worm just shows up randomly.
Nicely done.
So here's the hardest area in the game. I'm actually
This
not going to
part's
talk towards
just
it. Yeah.
absolutely brutal. There's a lot of clean movement involved, a lot of cycles you gotta make, and just simple mistakes can really backfire on you extremely quickly.
I was hoping to get, whoa, that was kind of bad. I was hoping to get a heart there, but it didn't work out. Nice. So one part about going really fast here is that these arrows that are showing up, anytime you hit like an enemy, a projectile, pretty much anything that does damage to you, all your momentum stops. So say like I'm jumping across a gap and I get hit by an arrow, I just get stopped suddenly in my tracks, and it's very easy to die off that. Just fall straight to the bottom. Took extra damage there by accident. It's okay though. I'm not really concerned about taking damage here because I shouldn't take any damage from the boss whatsoever. Okay, that was pretty clean. So that's one of the harder areas of the game just because of the pit there. And if you just fall down at all, you just get sent back to the beginning. So, but it's pretty satisfying to get that done right. So we have another auto-scroller boss that we can't do any damage to except at certain moments of the fight. This guy's name is Wilbur. So in order for us to do any damage to him, we have to hit these barrels, or balls, magma balls, whatever they are, into these cannons and then shoot him with the cannon. So we actually don't really do any damage to him, we just keep going through the phases. Second part of this fight is just his eye going around. So in order to speed it up, we shoot the fireball at him, so that way we don't have to wait for it to go all the way to Shantae. That's really all the fight is. It's a super long fight, at least when you look at the rest of the game. But it's a nice little breather after going through Tulsa Town as well. There's a little bit of randomness of what can happen, where these balls show up. They can show up right next to Shantae. They show up on the clear other side of this tower thing. And there's nothing you can really do to affect it. You just have to hope that it's in your favor. So every time the eye shows up too, it speeds up a little bit. But given that we're using the fireball as a projectile to hit it, it doesn't really change the difficulty whatsoever. I'm going to dodge these attacks. These attacks are really hard to dodge.
If you just sneak by, he'll never notice you.
Yeah. literally going full Solid Snake right now.
Fireball.
Alright, so we do have one more phase after this, or at least just one more, one of those phases, whatever it's called. This is the last time we have to hit the eye. Good. I do have a little bit of magic too, which is great. So if we just wait, squeak along. They actually did change this fight in the new Risky DLC that came out a couple weeks ago, and they made, you know, where he shoots his little beams random, so you can't just crouch and dodge them all. Alright, and that's Wilbur. That's probably the longest boss in the game. And not very exciting either. So, but fortunately all the bosses after this are a little bit more cool than that.
Yeah.
Alright, that's what world is that? That's World 3. This time we get another transformation. Alright, get the elephant one. So if you ever played the Game Boy Color ones, they pretty much took a lot of the dances from that. Because dances were missing from the last Shantae game. So it's kind of cool to see them again. Also, shout out to Activate Windows in the corner. Is that showing up? It is,
Yeah,
yes.
it is.
Oh, wow.
JTB, I think you really need to activate Windows.
So we're not going to do anything here. We're just actually going to go straight to Tasseltown again to start picking up items. And this is where that backtracking really comes into play. A lot of the times before it was just easy. Just talk to a couple of people in Scuttletown, get to the next stage. But here you actually have to go back to these previous stages. And this is the first time we get to see the warp dance being used. So instead of having to run through this whole area again, we can just go straight here. So because we killed Wilbur, it, like I say, it does, each stage does get tweaked a little bit when you come back to it. So now we got this dude who's really into bones and wants us to collect bones for him. I mean, whatever, dude, it's your thing. I'm not going to judge. But it gives us a nice little item that lets us ground pound with the elephant. Which we do need to get through the run. Whoa. I have my pike ball out there. But previously, these side areas were not opened up because they were shooting little fireballs at us. And plus, with Wilbur chasing us, you're not really thinking, how do I get through these? But now we can go into these ground pound, these select little side areas. There's a lot more areas than the one I'm going to enter, but we're only going to the ones that we need to. Go up, up, up. Oh man, good this game. I'm actually standing a little bit further away from these heads before I dash into them. If you stand right next to them, you'll just like bounce off them and you won't go all the way through. But if you do stand somewhat of a distance, you'll just continue to charge through. So we have one more that we need to pick up, I believe. No, two more. Unfortunately, there's not really much usage for the elephant besides this, but he serves his purpose. Whoa, what am I doing? What am I
Dude, nice
doing?
movement.
Alright, that's the last one. or sorry, the remains, not bones. But we're gonna go ahead and give him the remains because that's what he's into. And we're gonna get sick.
You got sick.
Literally, physical item saying sick. So it doesn't actually do anything on the game. It's just an item that you have in your inventory.
I think it's amusing that it's like its own just item.
Like I said, the trade quest in this game is pretty ridiculous. So the second part of the fetch quest, we have to go back to Mermaid Falls and then skip this first area again. So this time it's a little bit different. These little rings that are going through are a lot faster. Mess that up, that's okay. Now we're gonna kill these fully anthropodic gators to get the meat on their bones so we can trade it later on. That's not dark, I don't know what is. I mean, they're just trying to hold a 9 to 5 and we're just, you know, taking them to eat later on. I didn't come up with this. Just don't tell PETA, I mean. So instead of going all the way to the top, we're gonna go to this little area right here now that we can enter with the elephant. We're gonna talk to Grandma Blobfish and get another upgrade. This is for the crab. I'll show it right now too. So previously the crab could just pretty much move around, but now we can actually attack underwater. We're going to use it to destroy obstacles to pick up her grandchildren that are just chilling in the water. So like this is an area that you would never really, you know, think about the first time you go through the game. And I think that's like the beauty of this game is that these little upgrades just open up so much more of the level than you would really expect. Like you don't see any of this underwater when you first go through the first time. So it's kind of a cool little thing. Oops. So I'm trying to jump and attack right there as well with the crab. If you just stand still and attack, there's a little bit of lag before you can move again. But if you jump and attack, then you'll just keep moving through the air. Just kind of a cool little speed tech. Alright, we're gonna give her grandchildren back. And she's then giving our key item to us. And that should give us all the key items we need to get through the next area. So we're going to go back to Scuttle Town. We're going to trade all these items that we just bought, or that we just found. Oops, I want to press start there. So first thing we're going to do is we can go in here. Oops. We're going to buy a Scimitar, which is the full upgrade for the pike ball that we have. And I'm actually missing some gems, so I'm going to pick up some extra ones. So I'm actually 7 gems down from where I should be. That's okay. I'll just do this a little bit slower than normal. So we're just trading all our items. There. That's too bad. So I should have been at 100 gems right there. I must have missed just like a jar or something. So I'll pick it up in the next one. Alright, now we're heading to the fourth world, which it's a little bit different than the previous ones that we're doing. Shantae also shows off her true colors in this stage.
Oh boy.
What could you possibly mean by that?
Well, you see, what this stage is, it's a nice little friendly race between people. I mean, you got a little, like, goldfish there, too. I mean, you have a little, like, stuffed bunny. I mean, we don't, these guys are not even enemies or anything like that.
Looks
with
like a
Shantae.
fun, friendly competition.
I know, right? But no. Just knock every single one.
Oh my
off their-
goodness. JTB, how could you?
The carnage.
You can literally skip every single one of these if you want. But they
So
have
you're
money.
just killing them in cold blood?
No, we're taking their money.
Oh.
Told you, I needed more gems. Dude, that guy only had one gem. That was probably his life savings right there. I mean, look at this little one. Oh, sorry. It's a little, like, fish in a fishbowl. And we're just gonna knock them into the abyss.
Yeah, the competition here is very diverse.
This guy's having a good time. Bye. I'll let that one live. So this level's a little bit different, and if you fall down, you just bounce back up. Do that again. Normally I would do that in this boss, this mini boss. The fastest strat for this boss is just to keep bouncing down with the scimitar, just to keep doing damage to them. But I'm kind of save my health. I don't want anything bad to happen. So this fight might be a little bit longer than it usually takes, just because I didn't have the whipping speed upgrade. It's a little bit random how this boss works too, with these carpets. They could rotate either way at the start. I do want them to rotate the way they did before, so that way I can just keep jumping down the carpets and doing more damage. Otherwise, if they went the other way, I'd have to wait for them to get in place to jump on them.
Yeah, that scimitar seems to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, scimitar does seriously work in this run. It does like 5 damage per hit. Oh, shouldn't got hit by that guy. Honestly, this run would be so painful if you didn't have
Just
item
imagine
like
how
that.
much slower some of these boss fights would be.
I mean, there's like risky boots at the very. Oh, spoiler! Risky boots is one of the boss fights.
Whoa.
Her fight just takes like 2 minutes or so, with just constant scimitar doing damage to it. I like struggle to think about how long that would take without the scimitar. Like just 5 minutes of mashing nonstop, maybe. So I don't want to touch any of these lasers. If I touch any of them, I just instantly just get disintegrated. I don't die, which doesn't really make sense, but it sends me all the way back to the start of the level, and really don't want that to happen. This is one of the harder stages in the area, in the game. Just because these blue coat enemies that are running around, they could do a full heart of damage to you. And we don't have a lot of heart containers. Like, I can only get hit twice right now without healing again. Which is a bit of a scary thought. And if I die, I just get sent all the way back to the start again. So there's a lot riding on the line right now. Nice, sweet dodge. So I wait for this laser. Nice, got an extra heart. So that gives me an extra hit to take. And it's also important to have a lot of health because you are invincible to these lasers if you're currently taking damage. So I can just get hit by that guy right there and just run through the lasers while they're active. So it's kind of important. Don't hit me. Playing it a little bit safe here. Alright, I think we should be good. As long as I don't get hit anything right here. Yo. Did I not call it? So the reason I wanted to be at least one heart there, so I can transform into the elephant right there and hit that box. Because this box is so big, then you just get hit by that guy where the monkey or Shantae don't. And it's optimal just to be able to go through that whole area without healing too. Yo, activate Windows. Please donate to Smash the Record so we could buy a genuine copy of Windows. So this is a fight that we can just, because it really shows how strong the Scimitar is. It's going to be a little bit slower because I didn't pick up that upgrade that I didn't have the gems for. But it doesn't matter because Scimitar is just doing serious work. In fact, you do so much damage that each time you see the screen zoom out a little bit, it's actually another phase. So we're just completely skipping most of the phase with how much damage we're pumping out right now. Nice.
Nicely done.
And of course, he has dynamite all over him too.
Yeah, the first time I played this game, I didn't have the Scimitar at this point. This boss fight went very differently.
It's kind of hard when you don't have either Pike Ball or a Scimitar. You see a lot of different attacks that... Actually, I don't remember what those attacks look like. It's been so long. So, keeping with tradition, another transformation we'll get. This time it's the mouse. So, pretty useless transformation, actually. We use it once and that's it. Once
the
after
best.
this, I mean. So there's these little mazes that are actually spread out throughout the game that you don't really recognize at all until you get the mouse. We're actually going to go ahead and visit one of them after this. So the glitch run, which is pretty much just the out-of-bounds run, it can actually skip the mouse and another transformation ring come up by being able to go out of bounds in areas that you would normally need, those transformations to get through.
You gave sick, oh no.
I gave sick. I got a lollipop. Thanks, doctor. I might actually take a little bit of detour and get the upgrade that I should have got previously. Alright, so now we got the Silky Cream. We can actually attack a lot faster. Alright, now we need to backtrack to Mermaid Falls again. This time we're going to actually be in the first area, and this is the last time we have to go to this area too. I'm looking for two things here. Looking to possibly beat a platform cycle. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. It's really difficult to do. It's all dependent on how fast I can get through this. Like, I can't make any mistakes at all. And you'll see it if I beat it or not. No, I didn't. So, if you're fast enough, you can get under that platform before it gets down to the bottom. And when you get in between the platform and where the monkey is at, it just breaks and you get through there. And the reason why you want to do that is you want to get to this platform that's going back and forth before it leaves. And it's only possible to do that by getting through that other platform that can break. It's really difficult to do. It's not something I've done very often, but it looks super cool. Another thing I actually picked up there too was that monster egg from the... That's a Lamia, right? Is that a Lamia? The little snake dudes?
I don't know. I can barely hear you, so something's up with my audio.
Anyways, whatever they are, they have like an 80% chance to drop that monster egg, which we're going to trade for something else later on. Now we got another key item that we're going to trade away. We're going to pick up the final, actually, not the final transformation, but one of the more useful ones. Alright, I got the mermaid dance. We're actually going to use this almost right away too, in Main Street. So that's the last of Mermaid Falls, and this will be the last time we go to Main Street as well, because we're kind of getting close to the end of the game at this point.
Ah, cool.
Ready to go.
Oh, she finally said it.
Look at that happy monkey.
Dude, it's so happy.
It's the happiest monkey.
Real talk, though, all the transformations that Shantae has in this game are just adorable.
And the whole game's just super charming.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm trying to get to this next body of water after this. So there's all areas under every one of these areas of water that you can only access with either the crab or mermaid. So the mermaid's a little bit different. We can actually like freely travel through water instead of just falling to the bottom. Pick up another item. Alright, now that we got that, we can go back to Scuttletown and open up the next area. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is just go straight to our uncle, which is, by the way, this guy that we're giving all our key items to. So I don't have a lot of heals right now. I may actually pick up some in the next level. Actually, no. I need to trade our monster egg that we got to get our 5th hit for our container. Alright, we're going to go to the second last area of this game. I'm good? Can you hear me now?
A lot better than before, yeah.
Good. Just mouthing off.
We could kind of hear some of what you were saying.
Just kind of, nod and be like, yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're in the spooky castle. Got the skeletons, the falling lamps.
This part's actually pretty cool.
We got the slimes.
You got the
waifu
slime
slimes.
girls.
This part's actually super fast. A lot of these doors go to like random areas, so once you know like which door goes to what, then it's really simple to get through.
Yeah, originally figuring out like what went there took me a while.
Can you imagine like trying to do like a house showing with that, not knowing which door goes to what? Like, this is a kitchen. Oh wait, no, this is the bathroom.
How did I end up here?
So this is the graveyard sequence. This is actually probably the most difficult part of the game. It's another one of these bottomless pit areas. There's a lot of tense monkey bullet action that we're going to be doing. And these platforms are super hard to jump on the side because since they're moving, then we can't just fall off and like we would do for these walls like this and just immediately press the other direction. We actually have to jump off and just land on it. So it's very easy to just fall off onto the bottom and have to restart the whole level. Nice. It's actually going really well. Alright, now we're on the third part. So one tense thing about this, and I never actually mentioned this too, but we're playing on the first patch of the game. The reason for that is because magic is drained a lot slower. But one bad thing about the first patch, or just the original version of the game, is that if you fall down in any of these areas, instead of putting you at the checkpoint where the screen transitions, it just throws you all the way back at the start. So if I fell in any of those, I would have to do this entire area all over again.
That would be awful.
It's really stressful, especially like if you're on PV base and you just miss one jump. It's not good. Now we got a Squid Baron. Anyone who's played Shantae before, you already know this guy. Essentially just trying to do as much damage as we can to him before he comes down. Also trying not to take any damage because I don't really have any heals. I don't think I'm gonna get him before he jumps. Yeah, I was a little bit slow with my damage. So that's the first part of this fight. After he blows up, he comes away unscathed, ready for round 2. Alright, and now we get to fight both of them. So this fight, you can actually choose who you want to kill first. We want to defeat Squid Baron first again, as opposed to the other guy, because if we don't kill him first, then he just starts like flying all over the place, like doing some really weird patterns that are really hard to hit. So I'll let my scimitar hit him while I'm running by. But all my damage is going right now into Squid Baron. He should die like right here. Okay, maybe next one. So he has a lot less health than Squid Baron does.
You're finished.
Nice.
Nicely done. I don't think I've actually clapped for you once, so I just felt like it was necessary.
Yeah, I mean, you could just clap for anything. Oh, we skipped the text.
On that note, can we get some claps for Smash the Record?
I totally just hear Donkey Kong Country in the back. I just hear honk.
It's actually really making for an interesting experience.
So now I got the Harpy Dance. This is the last dance that we're going to get.
That's that happy
The
dance.
reason why you get this at the very end is because you're able to just fly over everything. So you can imagine how broken that might be if you got that at the very start. Can you guys hear that too? You can hear it.
I can.
Yeah.
I hope the stream can hear it. That's awesome. No, it's like playing through our headphones too. No, Donkey Kong Country.
You're fine, don't worry.
No, keep it up. It's cool. Dude, I
No,
totally
yeah.
forgot what I was supposed to do because I was
It's not
so
picking up from the
focused
feed,
on
it's
Donkey
picking
Kong
up from like the
Country.
actual feed.
All right, I'm gonna go here and buy some potions that let us get through the last area.
Something major.
Foxy Grandma hat, shoutouts to that.
No, it was a nice little background noise.
We heard the coins and we're like, is that from DKC too? We're like,
Yo, shout out to Foxy Grandma, the foxiest of all the grandmas. But she gives us a mermaid bubble, which is like a projectile attack that we need to pick up our last items to get to the final stage.
One thing to mention is that since this is any %, there are a lot of other transformations you can get in the game that are completely optional. Some of them are pretty, well, not particularly useful, but
Yeah,
there are a
there's,
couple other ones
they're
out there.
there.
They're pretty cool.
there's like a bat transformation. You might have saw that in Skates Run at HGU. But it pretty much just lets you fly. Oh wait, what am I doing here? I'm trying to play this like it's first time I'm here. We can just fly over everything. But yeah, the bat just lets us hover essentially horizontally, so you can just go through a lot of these stages like super safe. You would do that in Tasseltown and the Graveyard, but it's still a lot slower than going through normally with like the Monkey Bullet. So now we get to switch to the Mermaid. And this time, like I said, we got a little projectile attack. Lets us destroy these barriers.
This is some powerful bubbles.
Yeah, serious. It destroys like concrete. Alright, that's last time we go to Tasseltown, and then we're gonna visit the Hypno Baron's Castle one more time to pick up our last item. Where are we at on time? Okay,
Looks like we're at 54 minutes and 4 seconds.
not bad. So this time, instead of continuing through the castle like we did last time, I'm going to switch to Harpy. And let's just get on the roof. Oh man, I got hit by him. Alright, I'm just gonna keep running through this. We have our last item at the very end of this little segment.
Oh God.
Got the zombie hamster. Alright, and now we can go all the way back to Scuttletown and open up the final area of this game.
Yeah, the zombie hamster is the final piece because you gotta have something to operate the machinery, and what better to do than a undying hamster?
Yeah, a normal hamster, like, you just get worn out. But zombie hamster, it's a whole nother level.
Oh man, it looks like I just missed out on some really important story right there.
Yeah, there was some really good plot going on right there. But, I don't want to spoil it for the kids at home. Like I said, if you just, like, looked at the items and stuff that you collected in the game, you're just probably thinking, like, what the heck is going on in the story in the game.
I still think my favorite item is sick. That's just...
Here's some sick.
You got sick. And then you gave away sick.
If only it was that easy.
Dude, healthcare would be so much different now. It'd be like, what's his name? John Coffey in Green Mile. There's just people be here, give me your sick. So this is like another auto-scroller that I talked about earlier. Shoutouts if you can pinpoint what game this may have been inspired from.
Reminds
You're
me a lot
right,
of
it was
Green
Super Mario 64. But it's a pretty lengthy auto-scroller. In the out of bounds, you can actually skip this entirely by, I believe it like just runs on like the ceiling or something to the very end. It's very slow paced, so running like if you were say like a monkey running through this, it would be like really fast. So it's a pretty boring segment. It's very easy compared to what's coming up in the next area. We get our little starfish friends help us shoot little bubbles. Actually, I don't know what those bubbles are, like little beams or something. There's not much I'm looking here. I don't need to pick up any gems at this point. I do want to be at full health and have full magic as well for the end of this game. But looks like we're good on that point. A lot of these enemies do drop hearts too, so I really don't mind getting hit at all, because I know I'm going to get them back. These harpoons are also super hard to dodge because you're trying to like move backwards, but the game is moving forward, so it makes you go super slow.
So would this be one of those good times for a donation?
Yeah, you know what? Hey, I don't think we've done any donations
Yeah.
during this run. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's good.
Keep
We got
blabbering.
two for you. We got one from JTB's mom for
Hi, Mom.
$50. And we also have one from JC for $5. Hi, JTB. It's incredible that Aladdin has aged so well. Good luck with the Leon in Spain run later tonight.
Thanks, Mom and JC. Oh, shout out to the boys back home. All the RE4 crew. They're probably wondering why I'm not playing RE4 right now.
Well, it does say on your Twitter handle, RE4JTB.
Oh, you're right.
Who are you?
And all my stuff on my Twitch channel, too, is RE4 themed. It's like I play that game or something. So this area is actually a little bit difficult, too, because there's a lot of these spikes, and spikes mean instant death. So I want to do my best to dodge all these spikes. There's a lot of really like tight movement, too. Like that little corner I went through, it's very difficult to get through without hitting one of those spikes. And it follows the trend as the graveyard too, is if at any point you hit anything, even after the checkpoint that's coming up right here, you'll just set all the way back to the start.
Yeah, I like this part. It's kind of cool because it kind of utilizes a good chunk of all the powers you have.
Alright, now we're next to the next area. So now if we die, then we get sent back to the start of this area. So this one, we get to use actually the Harpy a lot. Harpy is actually very hard to control. If you... There was this like huge phenomenon like 5 years ago about this game called Flappy Bird. And the Harpy controls exactly like that, in that you have to constantly be pressing A in order to fly up. And it's very common to have just inputs get dropped too, which sucks if you're like trying to get like over one of these like spikes and you just fall right into it. So Harpy is not my favorite part of the game, unfortunately, but you don't have to go through like too many areas with a Harpy, which is nice. Let me dodge that. I really don't want these bullets to be showing up when I need to go through. I could have gone for it, but I got scared. I wasn't sure how long it was open for. Alright, now we're essentially good.
Nicely done. Don't forget to activate Windows.
Alright, so now we're on the final part of the game, which is like a boss rush mode. By the way, Risky Boots is one of the final bosses. Who would have ever thought? This boss is actually, she has, I don't know exactly how much health she has, but her health pool is absolutely insane. And that, you know, this damage that we're constantly doing to her, it takes like 2 minutes to actually deplete it. So you can just imagine how useful this inventory is for this. So her patterns are all the same. She does the same thing every single time. The only thing that's random is where she jumps. But it's easy enough to predict what's coming next. So we got the cannonballs. So she does a lot of her attacks that from the equipment that she carries, which is the same that you use in a Pirate's Curse. It's kind of a cool little nod to that game. So I'm hoping, okay good, I got some magic there, which is really nice. Oh my god.
No.
I didn't see that coming. That's alright, it's pretty early in the fight. I don't think I've ever got hit by one of those fireballs before. It's cool though, it's better to die right there than much later in the fight. It's also easy to soft lock in this. If you're mashing start to skip the cutscenes, the game sometimes will just go into a complete black screen that you can't do anything. You just have to restart the game in order to continue. Alright, so this time we're not going to get hit by anything. Also, there's no difference between ducking and just standing still. Just for some reason, it's just like a muscle memory thing. Alright, good. We haven't got hit by any random attacks yet. Nice. Plenty of magic. Alright, and now she restarts her whole attack pattern again. We're looking to kill her during her little dashes that she does, which will be coming up after this. Oh, I hit once. That's okay. So hopefully she can die right here. Okay, no, she can die right here instead. Wow. I must have missed a lot of damage on her then. That was like 10 seconds later than it should have been, but it's cool though. Alright, so I'm not going to mash start too much right here. Don't really want to soft lock and do that fight again. Alright. So now we're on the second out of 3 bosses. This is the easiest boss. This is the Tinker Brain. All we have to do is just dodge these little gears that are coming out and attack these generators. So really, there's no fear of ever losing this fight. We don't have enough time to hit all 5 generators in one go, so we just have to do each part twice. Alright, then once we hit all 5, a little bit of damage comes out. And then we just go the other direction to, you can see the little like screw in his eye going. That's like the visual cue to figure out, you know, what you need to do in this fight. It's not really clear when you first get into it, but it makes sense. Alright, and that ends second boss. Then we go to the third boss, which is him again in a different form. And it's actually one of the harder bosses in the game, and why you pick up a lot of heart containers throughout the run. So, I'm sure most people have played Metroid Prime. Remember the first boss in this? So we have these little balls that are being, that we destroy the genies to hit the Tinker Brain with, and we can only hit it through these little openings. At the same time, we have these shadows that are constantly being spawned by the genies around this area. And if they hit you, they do 2 hearts of damage. And they can screw with your jumps a lot too. So you can imagine if you only have like 2 or 3 heart containers, getting hit by any one of them, it's just a death sentence. So what I'm doing to get the ball through this like little opening, I'm waiting for a little visual cue with his eyes. It's a very tight window to get it through, but it saves a lot of time if you get it. So like that, I just a tad bit early. It's impossible to actually just do it without some sort of a visual cue. It's actually going pretty well so far. So we have to do this 10 times. I think we're like number 6 right now. Oh, a little too bit late there. So I don't want to hit it right there if I get hit by something, because then it'll just hit the barrier, and I have to wait for it to respawn again. Yeah, I think we got like one more. I knew that was too late as soon as I hit it. There we go. Oh, never mind, I got. I'm just gonna keep saying one more until he dies. Oh man. So those shadows can mess with your jumps. So that's Tinker Brain. That's the last boss fight, and clearly the best way to end, you know, any kind of like game. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, wait
Hey, you
for
got
it.
the zombie hamster again.
Yeah, I got the zombie hamster. I don't know why, but we got it back. But yeah, the best way to end any video game after a bunch of boss fights is another auto-scroller.
I mean, she's sliding across wooden boards. That's even like worse than the other one.
I know, she's gonna get like splinters all over her. I don't know, maybe it's the genie thing. It's like a little barrier between her butt and the wood. So one cool little thing we could do in this area was actually use the fireball to kind of stay in the air a little bit longer. Granted, you have, like, I believe unlimited magic and unlimited health here. The only way to possibly die is just to fall down. It's actually easy to do that too. This part we just jump down to. It's pretty straightforward. But I don't let our hair catch on fire.
You had me scared there for a second.
So time will be coming up really soon once the screen fades to white. Probably like 5 seconds or so. Oh, just kidding. Debated. Alright, now it's going. Alright, time. So what do we get? Alright,
109?
we went below estimate. That's all that matters.
There we go.
It's about like... So that's Shantae, Half-Genie Hero Glitchless. Should we go to the Should we see what kind of ending screen we get after the credits?
What's up?
Have you beat this game yet?
Yeah, I have.
Should we see what kind of ending screen we get?
Sure.
Oh, boy, a new screen.
I don't think I'm gonna get the good one.
The old dude reminds me of Sigma from Mega Man X.
Oh, what?
He reminds me of Sigma from Mega Man X if he got really old.
Yeah. We're probably just gonna get a splash of all the characters. That's what I'm predicting. So what they do in this for like a casual run is that they highlight all these random words in this to say, hey, you know, you didn't get the good run in this. You should go back and do this stuff. Wink, wink. But we don't do that in the normal run because it requires a lot more backtracking, picking up random items and stuff.
See, I really just wanted to listen to this song again.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's so good.
This song is just so good.
Yeah.
I can't read all
Yeah,
that.
dude, I
Jeez.
see my name. For real though, I did back this. No, this is just the Kickstart backers.
That's so many
So-
people.
Jesus, so many
I was-
people love Shantae.
So shout outs to WayForward. Shout outs to WayForward for I backed the game. I didn't even get my name in the credits. I'm super disappointed. Out of all those people. Oh, I just got the normal slash. That's cool though. That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's a neat poster.
So yeah, that's Shantae. Thanks for watching. Next we got Donkey Kong Country 2 by the one and only Spike Vegeta. Continuing the
one and
monkey
only.
block. Cool. So thanks for watching, everyone.